was once grazing land more than 50 years ago is now the home of the premier specialized undergraduate pilot training base in the Air Force, Laughlin Air Force Base. Laughlin is headquarters for the 47th Flying Training Wing, and during the next few minutes, we'll take a quick look at Laughlin's mission, history, and superb men and women who accomplish our mission.
About 2 o'clock takeoff, so you figure 2 o'clock out of here.
The same ran-up mode?
Yeah.
Or is there a mode between there and Berkshire?
Well, I'm Bradley.
The first part of our mission of Laughlin is to graduate the best trained pilots in the world for the United States Air Force and allied nations. The second part of our mission is to maintain constant readiness to support contingency plans around the world with trained and equipped military professionals. The flying officers we train follow in the footsteps of First Lieutenant Jack Thomas Laughlin, for whom the base is named. Lieutenant Laughlin was the first member of the Del Rio community to lose his life in World War II when his B-17 was downed by enemy ground fire in January 1942 over Java. Laughlin Air Force Base was activated July 2nd, 1942. The base's first mission was transition pilot training into the Martin B-26 Marauder, the fastest medium bomber of World War II. Although Laughlin has been primarily a training base, the base was the home of the 4080th Strategic Reconnaissance Wing from 1957 to 1963. The 4080th conducted high-altitude weather reconnaissance flying the RB-57D Canberra and Lockheed U-2A. It was a U-2 pilot from Laughlin who brought back the first conclusive evidence of the Soviet missile buildup in Cuba in October 1962. A U-2 pilot assigned to Laughlin, Major Rudolph Anderson Jr., was the only combat casualty of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Supporting the Laughlin mission are 3 groups: operations, support, and medical. The operations group is directly responsible for the flying training portion of the wing's mission, specialized undergraduate pilot training. Earning the silver wings of an Air Force pilot is an extremely tough and challenging course. During the 52-week training period, each student flies nearly 200 hours in the T-37 and either the T-38 or T-1A aircraft, in addition to almost 60 hours in aircraft simulators and more than 500 hours in the classroom. It's a challenging and rewarding training program which produces a pilot who has clearly proven that he or she can handle the pressure of the cockpit. There are 2 factors that contribute to Laughlin's success as the premier pilot training base in Air Education and Training Command. One of the keys to Laughlin's success as a pilot training base is the beautiful flying weather enjoyed just about year-round. The other key is our almost unlimited airspace. We're situated away from major commercial air routes. The closest large airport is approximately 150 miles to the east. This minimizes our involvement with civilian air traffic and competition for increasingly valuable airspace. The beautiful weather and lack of civilian air traffic allows us to train closer to the base rather than spending precious training time and fuel traveling to remote training areas. The pace of training and level of activity make Laughlin a very busy place. Our airfield is the busiest in the entire Air Force. This high volume of traffic is generated by 3 flying squadrons. The 85th Flying Training Squadron flies the T-37 Tweet, providing primary jet training for all students and forming the basic flight skills that remain so crucial throughout their flying careers. Following primary training in the T-37, students are selected for either the airlift tanker track in the T-1A Jayhawk or the fighter-bomber track in the T-38 Talon. Depending on track selection, students transfer to one of the other 2 flying training squadrons. The 86th Flying Training Squadron flies the Air Force's newest trainer, the T-1A Jayhawk. The 86th trains students in airlift and tanker fundamentals necessary for their follow-on assignments. The 87th Flying Training Squadron flies the supersonic T-38 Talon. The 87th trains students in fighter and bomber fundamentals. To manage this high volume of traffic, Laughlin has its own professional military air traffic controllers who control both military and civilian traffic for all the surrounding airspace. The operations group is also responsible for all aircraft maintenance. In 1989, Laughlin converted to the first and only civil service aircraft maintenance team in the Air Force. This one-of-a-kind maintenance unit has developed into one of the most dynamic maintenance units in the Air Force, setting a first in Air Education and Training Command by winning the command's Outstanding Maintenance and Effectiveness Award for an unprecedented 4 straight years. The 526-person workforce has successfully assumed the responsibility for flight line maintenance and has continued to safely support the flying training mission. In 1993, Laughlin Civil Service Aircraft Maintenance received the Air Force Dedalian Maintenance Award as the best aircraft maintenance organization in the Air Force. No all-civilian maintenance unit has ever won that award, dating back to the World War I era. Also, no Air Education and Training Command maintenance unit has won that award in the previous 35 years. Playing an integral part in the pilot training mission is the 47th Support Group, charged with the daily operation of taking care of the needs of the base. The support group's 7 squadrons keep Laughlin operating at peak efficiency so the primary training mission can be successfully accomplished. An equally important mission is Laughlin's mobility commitment. On a moment's notice, we stand ready to deploy more than 250 men and women to any contingency operation anywhere in the world. In recent years, Laughlin has deployed air crews, civil engineers, security police, logistics, services, communications, and medical personnel in support of major operations such as Desert Storm, Restore Hope, Provide Comfort, Joint Task Force Bravo in Honduras, and joint operations in Guatemala. Laughlin is a sprawling installation covering more than 5,000 acres with 820 facilities worth more than $337 million. To ensure the protection of base resources, Laughlin has its own fire department. Although they train primarily to protect base assets, they maintain a close working relationship with the Del Rio Fire Department for mutual assistance in times of crisis on base or in the community. The 47th Security Police Squadron is top-notch and rated as one of the best in the Air Force, providing protection for base assets and personal property of base people. Sharing the charter of wellness and fitness for the Laughlin community is the 47th Medical Group, providing quality medical care and sound health promotion programs. The base has a 7-bed hospital with medical, dental, and flight medicine professionals. The medical group maintains a close working relationship with the Del Rio medical community. None of Laughlin's achievements would be possible without the unparalleled support from the Del Rio community. Our people benefit from an active Chamber of Commerce and Military Affairs Association and the best community relations in the Air Force.
Yeah, if you folks haven't already figured it out, there's 2 ways you can communicate with us.
Laughlin has changed dramatically in the 50-plus years, but the mission has never changed: to graduate the best trained pilots in the world for the United States Air Force and our allies, and to maintain readiness to deploy anywhere in the world. This will be our mission into the 21st century.
Del Rio, Texas is a unique and fascinating place. It has a semi-arid climate and is surrounded by semi-desert terrain. Yet, one of its most notable characteristics is abundant water.
Del Rio was founded on an abundance of water. This cool, clear water is still flowing 90 million gallons a day from San Felipe Springs, feeding canals, flowing through the municipal golf course, creek walk, amphitheater, and parks. 12 miles from Del Rio lies giant Lake Amistad, a man-made reservoir with 850 miles of pristine shoreline, with a surface area of 67,000 acres, impounding water from the Rio Grande, Pecos, and Devil's River. Amistad Lake provides unlimited opportunities for boaters, skiers, sailors, scuba divers, windsurfers, and fishermen. Its clear waters are stocked with game fish that make Amistad one of the state's top fishing spots for black bass, white bass, highbird, stripers, and catfish. Amistad hosts numerous fishing tournaments throughout the year. Swimming beaches, launch ramps, marinas, picnic areas, camping, hiking trails, and designated hunting areas are all operated and maintained by the National Park Service. Concessionaires provide houseboat rentals, as well as fishing supplies, food, and drink. Adjacent to the park are private campgrounds, boat rentals, motels, restaurants, fishing guides, and tours into Mexico. A port of entry atop the dam leads you to a visitor center and two massive bronze eagles. Across the dam, you'll find Tlaloc, a statue of the mighty Aztec rain god overlooking the Mexican waters. Del Rio and Ciudad Acuña are great places for shoppers. Everything from the well-established family businesses to large national chains located in the enclosed mall or shopping centers. Specialty shops in Ciudad Acuña offer bargain prices on leather, brass, jewelry, pottery, and curios. On both sides of the river, you'll discover the temptations of the table. Del Rio and Ciudad Acuña menus range all the way from the Great American Hamburger to barbecue, juicy steaks, seafood, Italian, Chinese, and an abundance of spicy Mexican food. Some night spots feature entertainment, music for dancing, and outdoor patios. All give good service at reasonable prices. Peek into Del Rio's historic past. The Whitehead Museum, housed in a restored trading post, offers a glimpse of Del Rio's frontier cultures. On the same grounds, you'll come to the graves of the infamous law west of the Pecos, Judge Roy Bean and his son Sam. A replica of his famous saloon courtroom, the Jersey Lily, stands nearby. Why, there's even a vintage railroad car, a special attraction for children. A real must to visit is the Val Verde Winery. Founded in 1883 by Frank Quaglia, an Italian immigrant, it is the oldest licensed wine-producing vineyard in Texas. Daily tours and tastings of the award-winning wines are presented to you by fourth-generation Quaglias. Cultural activities are centered around the Del Rio Council for the Arts, housed in an old red firehouse. Classes, shows, and programs for adults and children are scheduled year-round. Tourist and winter Texans are always welcome. The Paul Pogue Theater is the site of performances by the Upstagers, the Del Rio Civic Orchestra, and other performing art groups. Del Rio is an ideal hub for side trips. Unforgettable Seminole Canyon State Historical Park features a visitor center with dioramas and guided tours of the earliest known authentic Indian rock art shelters. Nearby is a scenic overlook of the Pecos River, and on the far side of the river is Langtree, home of the original Judge Roy Bean Jersey Lily Saloon and courtroom, and one of the most complete cactus collections in Texas. Bracketville lies 30 miles east of Del Rio. Visit Fort Clark, an early-day cavalry post. Relive the Old West with gunfights, stagecoach holdups, and have a cool one in the cantina at Alamo Village, the movie capital of Texas, where John Wayne filmed his famous movie, The Alamo. Del Rio is a hunter's paradise with year-round packaged hunts for exotic game, season and day leases for white-tailed deer, turkey, javelina, dove, and quail. Del Rio is a city of fun and fiestas. Fiesta de Amistad, held each October with an arts and crafts fair, international bike race, and 10K run. Highlighting the celebration is the Grand International Parade, the only parade that begins in one country and ends in another. Laughlin Air Force Base celebrates Air Amistad with an open house and air show. Bicultural Del Rio makes much of July 4th, as well as Mexico's historic Cinco de Mayo and 16 de Septiembre, held along the Creek Walk and Amphitheater and Brown Plaza. There's an April Fool's Fling and Goat Cook-Off with entertainment and games for the entire family. Kick up your heels at one of rodeo's richest bull riding competitions, held annually in May.
It is also little wonder that people from all across America look forward to moving to locations such as Del Rio. The border's a good place to live, and Del Rio is among the best. It's a small town and has all the advantages of small town living. Yet it is a self-contained city with modern shopping facilities, excellent schools, and state-of-the-art medical services. Both public and private schools in Del Rio provide well-rounded educations for students from kindergarten through high school. Higher education is made available by Southwest Texas Junior College and Sul Ross State University. Baccalaureate and master's degrees are offered now, and with a growing demand, educational opportunities are increasing. To meet the future educational needs, a $27 million expansion is now underway. We admit that Del Rio doesn't have it all. We don't have smog, urban crime, freeway congestion, blizzards, and high taxes. We do have fresh air, crystal clear water, friendly people, good weather, a variety of lifestyles, and plenty of room for everybody who wants to share the good life with us.